Working committee where we left yesterday, we are going to start today. And I take this opportunity to adorn the President with presidential medal.
Thank you, Dr. Tandon. And this is continuation of in continuation of the adjourned working committee which ended yesterday in a protest. The working committee has passed a resolution to protest against the Clinical Establishment Act in West Bengal and the continuous rise of violence in the medical profession.
Sir, all these reporting matters, everything, everybody has been circulated. I think nobody has an objection on that. More important matters about this clinical establishment act and violence should be discussed. Isn't it, sir?
Yes.
So that is my suggestion, that instead of now going on this committee report, that all has been given extensively. More important is that one should understand the feelings of what the common members are feeling.
So we pass. Anybody to second it? Yes, Dr. Pillai and Dr. Vinay Agarwal second. So all our agendas and all our discussions, they get passed. And today's focus now will be on matters related to Clinical Establishment Act in West Bengal and regarding the violence. And before I start, I will request Dr. Jayakishan, our legal team expert, to give a small overview on both the subjects, and the matter will have an open house discussion with that. And the third matter which will also be discussed is what Dr. Vinay started yesterday. Can you?
Mike.
Mr. President, sir, in the beginning of the meeting yesterday, apprised you of the anger which the members of CWC are having on the issue of suspension of Dr. Abidul. I personally feel that's a very, very urgent matter. And before we conclude this meeting, we should definitely take action on that, so that at least the frustration among the members, or if you do as early as possible, it will alleviate the frustration as fast as possible.
The six past presidents, including Dr. Ajay Kumar, Dr. Ravi, myself, Dr. Tandon, Dr. Mathanga Pillai, Dr. Adhav, and Dr. Arun Raj, and a small meeting was held in the morning. And the circular issued to Dr. Dubey was declared null and void. And IMA is a democratic body. You can have difference of opinion, and there is a freedom of speech. Everybody has a way to express, and the headquarters doesn't approve of such a action, cause of action to that. That has been declared null and void.
The important thing is whatever was being done to protect the medical profession and the professionals. So it cannot be taken as a breach of conduct by any member. So that is the basic point, and everybody throughout the India is only asking for one thing, that the medical profession should be protected from criminalization. That is the only issue for which we have been fighting for the last 3 months, and that is the motto which we are going to carry on in future as well. We are not going to accept anything where the criminalization is being there in any act or any law. So these things are to be done by each and every member. So any member who is doing such kind of activity which is in favor of profession and the professional cannot be treated as is not obeying orders.
We will rediscuss this matter. We will rediscuss this matter once it opens up as a clinical commission director of West Bengal. So, Dr. Jackson.
And then the other very important thing, that the action committee decided that we should protest all over the India. So he was basically acting as with the advice of the action committee.
So just a basic question on this constitutional. Can a state branch or a local branch suspend any members? Because membership
No,
comes
he has
from
not
the
been
center.
suspended, only show cause notice has been issued. And they have asked IMA to terminate him from all the memberships. So that circular has been declared null and void. And it's a consensus decision of a committee of 6 past presidents. Yes.
Respected President, Mr. Kesh and senior dignitaries in front. The West Bengal Legal Establishment Act has been passed. Next slide.
Sir, what?
Next slide, please.
Yes, please come here.
Sir, it is so nice of you that all senior members rightly act in the time. But I am asking you, sir, one question that you have said that a letter has been issued. Issued to whom? Have you asked Dr. Dubey that whether he has received the
No,
letter?
he did not.
A so-called.
I talked to him in the morning.
Then what about this so-called which is not
I-
delivered to a person
Dr.
who
Daga-
is under the stress?
Dr. Daga,
Yes, sir.
a letter has been marked to us. We have declared it null and void. So we are informing the House.
Sir, please guide me. Don't try to hide between the
Take out the letter.
intricacy of
Take out the
the
letter.
executive action.
We'll take the letter.
If a letter
Can I have that letter,
which is
please?
being not handed over to a person for whom it is being made a so-called notice, if it has been not received, then you tell me, sir, that what
In any way, it is null and void.
They have sent it for approval of the headquarters.
I am unable to understand.
Well, I can understand the agony of my friend Surendra.
Copy that letter.
And what he is saying, I think should have been talked earlier. Now, what we have done is, 5 past presidents and other members sat this morning, because I was also very agitated on the issue. In fact, I wanted to go from here about 12 o'clock was my flight. I postponed it for 3 o'clock just because of this issue. But what happened when we sat in the morning, we went through the details, we found this letter is absolutely in violation of all sort of norms which could be thought of. Not to talk of IMA, everything else. I mean, the gentleman has not been given any chance to give his point of view. There is nothing, just you suspend him. This is not autocracy. In autocracy, you do whatever you like. But in a democratic setup, there are certain norms which have to be followed. So we have outrightly rejected this application which has come to us, and we said it is totally null and void. When we have said null and void, there is no need to worry. Daga, don't worry. We will not entertain this application from
Whether my leaders
now.
can assure that in future this sort of activity will not be done by the person who has done this. Whether you can assure, whether DICE can assure, whether central leadership can assure that it will not happen again.
With your permission, Mr. President, can I respond to this one? Can anybody assure that Daga will be still a gentleman if he goes out of this room? I mean, no. Daga means, no. Daga means you are representing somebody. Forget about yourself. Let me talk about myself.
I am talking about.
I don't know myself whether I will act in the same manner in which I am acting now when I go out of the room. As and when it comes to the notice of Indian Medical Association that one member is behaving in one way or the other, or one official is behaving in one way or the other, then we can discuss that one in our council or in the working committee and take appropriate decisions. That is what it should be. Nothing can be assured for
That is guaranteed.
See, I only want to say one thing, Dr. Daga. Dr. Daga, Senator Daga, the decision of the House is that as and when any action appears, IMA Constitution, IMA bylaws, and similar actions via the central IMA on these types of issues will be taken.
Yes, the next slide please. The West Bengal Clinical Establishment Registration Transparency Act came in the force on 16th March 2017 and Governor has signed and it has been in force in West Bengal. The problem with this act is it is violative of various constitutional provisions and also it is criminalization of the medical practice is being practiced. There is even 3-year imprisonment for medical negligences of war. So we have two problems. One is that in many of the states in our country, now the Clinical Establishment Act draft is being discussed and considered by the government. If all these governments going for a populist act like this, that will be the deathbed for the medical profession in our country. So we should fight in all aspects, legal, then organizational, in all these aspects, we should fight against this Clinical Establishment Act. I will just go through, brush through the legal aspects of this Clinical Establishment Act. The first thing is prima facie, the section 1(4) of the Act discriminates the government hospitals and private hospitals because it is not applicable to government hospitals. But even the Central Act, it is applicable to all types of hospitals. So this discrimination is violative of Article 14 of Constitution, that is right to equality before law. This Constitution provision is violated here. Next slide please. And another thing is that the right to health is being considered as a fundamental right and making obligatory for private hospitals and clinics to treat all cases without any fee or payment and without the state securing the treatment cost of such cases. It is said that we have to treat all cases and you have the right to obtain the fee, etc., but you should not compel. So you are compelled to treat the patient without any fee, and this is against the principles of making right to health a fundamental right because the state is absorbing its obligation by thrusting everything on the private sector. So that is violative of the provisions of the fundamental right to health provision. Next slide. And next is insisting on clinical establishments to maintain electronic records and restricting medical diagnosis of a medical practitioner under Section 3Q, along with enforcing government programs through private establishments without providing financial aid. It is said that all the clinical establishments should conduct all government programs compulsorily and no financial aid is guaranteed in the provision. So that is violative of Article 19G and 13Q of and Article 14 of Constitution. Because in these articles, the right to, the freedom to profess a profession and take remuneration is the basic constitutional right. And that is being violated in these provisions. So basically, 3 major constitutional violations are there in this West Bengal Clinical Establishment Act. Next is, and every clinical establishment should provide treatment of victims to RPA, patients suffering from sudden calamities, acid attacks, etc. And the cost from the recipient in due course can be taken. That is what is said. So if it's a first aid, it is okay. But the treatment is very arbitrary and it is irrational because the treatment for any disease can go in for years. And if the institution has to provide it compulsorily, that is irrational and arbitrary. Next is the private clinical establishment may not be able to provide such services except for emergency cases and first aid, and it can involve immense financial liability to the institution. The government should include clauses to provide or guarantee the cost involved. Then it is okay, but it is not there. And another thing is that the government will fix all the rates and of treatment. That is also irrational because it is violative of the constitutional provision as I have told, and also the rate fixed by the government will make it unviable for private hospitals to function, and the healthcare of the states will be affected. And another thing is that the hospitals will refrain from taking high-risk patients for treatment, and which will significantly affect the public health because everybody will refer high-risk cases because they will give financial obligation to the institution, they will refer it to government institutions, and that will affect public health. Next is regarding public grievances, help desk and electronic medical records, etc. The clause is arbitrary because all institutions have to compulsorily form these bodies, and many of the small and medium-sized hospitals will not be able to form such bodies because that will require a lot of manpower and infrastructure. So that provision is also very arbitrary, and it will affect the public health. And because due to the above clauses, next slide please. And the fixed rates and charges for treatment is arbitrary, as the treatment modalities, behavior of the disease, patient response, etc. will vary from patient. And the charges may also vary according to the facilities provided to the patient in terms of technological advancement, infrastructure, skill, and experience of the team. So the charges vary according to this. An accurate treatment cost can never be estimated at all in a complicated case. So such fixed rates and compulsory free treatment will create a rampant losses to the hospitals and private practitioners, and misuse, and hospitals may charge paying patients more to make up losses from those who don't pay their rates. So there will be cross subsidy. Those who pay will be charged more, and those who don't pay will go scot-free. So that will also provide inequality and confusion and chaos. Next slide please. And clause 8 that provides that the state government has the power to relax any of the terms prescribed will be a fertile ground for corruption. And they have stipulated many strict provisions in the Act, and it is told that the state government can relax, the officials can relax any of the provisions. That means at their will, if they, for those who favor these cases, they can relax it. So that will be a fertile ground for corruption, and this will not be there in any of the acts because if such a power is given to the officials, that will be a fertile ground for corruption. And another thing is that it compulsorily criminalizes the violations of license and registration, provides for imprisonment in the same, and without any discrimination between minor and major violations also. Another thing is the imprisonment and many other penalty clauses have been included without specifying what type of violation it is, whether it is major, minor, etc. And that is also very dangerous because even for trivial reasons, the doctors can be arrested and sent to jail, and major penalties can be thrust upon the institutions in many of the cases. Next slide, please. And the clause 33 of the Act is provides for hefty penalties compensation that I have already told. And even there are forums like the consumer, civil and criminal courts, and this will be an additional forum which will give such penalties on doctors. And the role of other forums, because they are all central acts, it cannot be taken away by this Act in the state. Next slide please. And clause 46 provides that no other civil court will have the jurisdiction to deal with such cases, which is violative of Constitution of India. If this commission presented in the Act is proclaiming a sentence, it is said that no other civil court will have jurisdiction to question that sentence. That is also violative of the constitutional provision because the freedom provided for justice by the civil courts, it is according to the Constitution and national acts, and it cannot be taken away by the state act. So these provisions have been violated. Next slide, please. So the Indian Medical Association should file a writ petition under Article 226 of the Constitution of India in public interest, seeking issuance of a writ of mandamus or any other writ, directions and orders against the state of West Bengal in the Kolkata High Court. So this can be filed by any practicing doctor in Kolkata and it can be supported by the various local branches, the state branch and national IMA in the Kolkata High Court. That is the legal position of the West Bengal Clinical Establishment Act, and in addition to that, we should continue our fight in the national level. All the state branches and all the practitioners in the state should be should know about this act, and in other states also. No other state should come forward with such an act in our state. And another thing is that the West Bengal state branch also should condemn this act and come forward against that. That is my request regarding the West Bengal Clinical Establishment. Thank you.
Open for comments and discussions. Yes.
Hello. I am Amitabh Shrivastava from Etawah, UP.
Thank you.
Let me put all these acts which are recently being passed against our fraternity in proper perspective. You have sections and sections. But if you talk of sections, it is just like pruning the leaves of a tree. NMC Act, previously the MCHRH Act, Clinical Establishment Act 2010, and not this. It all signifies just one thing: an unprecedented accumulation of power in the hands of executive, completely bypassing the judiciary. In Clinical Establishment Act, the DM is your registrar, he is your inspector, he is the prosecutor, he is the judge, and he is the executioner by realizing any penalty as revenue, areas of revenue. And in this act, he also becomes a jailer. So this is an unprecedented accumulation of power in the hands of executive, which is completely against the constitution, as rightly pointed out by the speaker. It is, if the makers of the constitution wanted accumulation of power in the hands of judiciary, they would not have created in the hands of executive, they would not have created a separate pillar of judiciary. So, our fundamental rights are guaranteed in the constitution, and the only guardian that we have is judiciary. So any law which curtails the powers of judiciary is unconstitutional at the very root, and that is how all these laws should be fought. Thank you.
Thank you. This is noted. And I normally say there are three systems in any governance: administrators, which are executive powers, judicial, and legislative. And all three have to function separately. One cannot take the job of the others. Administrators or the executives taking job of the judiciary is unconstitutional. We will add this point, thank you, we will add this point in our legal document.
I am Dr. Pradeep, State President, IMA Kerala State Branch. There are so many states which do not have the Clinical Establishment Act or being enacted. So the present Clinical Establishment Act put forward by the West Bengal government is being maybe copied by the other state governments also. So my request is that whatever action plan has been proposed by the legal cell chairman should be accepted. And tomorrow itself, IMA National Court should come out with a statement that we are declining the West Bengal Clinical Establishment Act, and we will fight against legally as well as in all other agitation forms. And I think the entire CWC university will support that action. Number one. Number two, soon after the deliberation of this CWC is over, IMA National Headquarters should come up with a statement on the various issues, like one is Clinical Establishment Act of West Bengal. Number two, on cross-cutting, that the modern medicine drugs should not be allowed to be prescribed by any other system of medicine in India. And the third one is regarding the violence against doctors and medical profession and the hospital. there should be a Central Protection Act, and the National Headquarters should conduct a press conference tomorrow itself in New Delhi and should highlight all these points so that the entire state get a clarified, a clear view of what is going to happen, what the IMA stand is going to be taken at the national level. That is more important. That is why there is ambiguity should not be there soon after. This working committee should be clearly a statement for the entire nation as far as medical professionals. That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you. If you see Times of India today, page number 4, Kolkata, it clearly talks about medical body, which is IMA, explores legal action against health act. It talks about in another 24 hours, that means today, in the working committee, the working committee will declare the next move. Our legal cell has been asked to look into the possibility of opposing the unconstitutional provisions of the act, in which we have added one administrative versus legislative. And IMA to explore legal actions to prevent criminalization of doctors, provisions of penalty over and above fine imposed by the Consumer Protection Act, exemption of government hospital from the act. So this point has already come in today's IMA stand of yesterday, has already come in Times of India. Whatever we pass today, I want some concrete consensus on the action to be taken by the headquarters. I am clear in my mind, but I want to hear everybody. And by the end of the working committee, we want a concrete plan. A, protesting. B, legal. 3, political. These 3 decisions we need to know. But before I go to Partner, Kerala branch has opposed CEA. Is there any state branch which is in favor of Clinical Establishment Act of West Bengal? No. So one is that all state branches of IMA condemn and oppose the existing Clinical Establishment Act of West Bengal.
Good morning. Dr. Parthiv Sanghvi, Secretary, IMA Maharashtra. First and foremost, when the act came into the papers, after reading whatever the details were, it was very horrendous, horrifying. And my first reaction is there will be an exodus of clinicians out of West Bengal because it is not virtually possible to practice in the way the act has been formed. Secondly, whatever we might say, Clinical Establishment Act, the way it has been passed in the center, the way doctors are soft targets, this act is here to stay. But in this case, President Sir, Maharashtra IMA has taken a lead in the past, and in the leadership of the then Maharashtra Medical Council Chairman, Dr. Kishore Kavli, the late Dr. Kishore Kavli, we had framed a Maharashtra specific Clinical Establishment Act which was more balanced, more doctor as well as patient friendly. And since IMA is taking the lead in all these national issues, and this is the burning issue of the day, we would urge, and we had also lobbied to not get the act in its present form from the Lok Sabha. Our leaders in Maharashtra lobbied not only with the ruling party but also with the opposition and highlighted the concerns that if this act comes in its present form, how much deleterious it is going to be for the patient community and virtually impossible for the doctors to practice. So by highlighting both the sides of the coin and getting the permission, of course, the Maharashtra specific Clinical Establishment Act has yet not been tabled in the assembly, but I think the central IMA can take a leaf out of the same and give the guidelines of a national CEA or recommendations which can then be pursued at various state levels to be implemented in their states.
Thank you, Jambatji, for reminding the Hanuman, the President, that the importance of opposition is equally important. I have been getting few letters, few slips from people who are observers, who are not a member of CWC, but have been the office bearers in the past, and they have requested that they also want to give some additions, as a presidential power will allow them. So Dr. Banerjee also, who has requested to speak on this issue, on a special permission will be allowed to speak.
Mr. President and honorable members of the working committee, I am Dr. Babu Jain from Kerala. So when we are demanding that the treatment will not warrant criminal liability to the doctors, now we want that treatment scenario cannot warrant a criminal liability to doctors. Now we are seeing a government, coming and criminalizing the treatment scenario and passing a bill to imprison a doctor for treating the patient where the psychiatric complications comes. So this is highly deplorable, sir. And I congratulate Dr. Jayakrishnan for bringing up all the salient features which are anti-constitutional, anti-professional, and anti-people to the extent. So I am really wondered to see why the West Bengal branch of the state is supporting this bill. Because appeasing the political party at the expense of the profession should be condemned. We should be responsible for the profession. We should be responsible for the professional people. So should not, whatever may be the reason, appeasing the political party at the expense of the profession has to be condemned. And I request this working committee to give a direction to the state of West Bengal to condemn this this one and work against it and protest against this. Otherwise, they will be acting against the interest of the medical profession. All of the salient features have been discussed by Dr. and I am not touching upon that. So this unconstitutional, anti-people, anti-professional law has to be withdrawn. And for that, as suggested by the police speaker, we have to explore the possibility of going to the court in the Kolkata High Court. And when the national president is here, if possible, try to get an appointment with the Chief Minister of West Bengal and have a dialogue. Definitely a dialogue will be able to bring to your notice what are the problems, why we are opposing it. And again, if it is not possible, try to organize a strong protest at Kolkata so that all these possibilities should be seen. Otherwise, if you agree to that, it will be opening this thing for passing such a law by all the states. I request the working committee to direct the West Bengal to condemn this and speak against that.
So Dr. Babu Ravindran from Kerala has proposed, and I'll put it for vote. Dr. Babu Ravindra has said that the Central Working Committee of Indian Medical Association today, dated so and so, time so and so, directs the state branch of West Bengal to follow CWC decisions in its letter and spirit. They will not deviate full stop and comma from CWC decisions. And CWC decision is to oppose Clinical Establishment Act of West Bengal in its totality with all their provisions which are anti-medical establishment and anti-community. Anybody need to second it? Yes. Seconded, passed.
Mr. Chairman, I am Dr. Satish from Haryana. I am aghast, totally confused by the bureaucracy and the political system of West Bengal, which has submitted such a draconian law, act, in which let us not think that this is only a small eastern branch or a big eastern branch which is currently at the point of this turmoil. In very few years, I can presume that these politicians and then bureaucrats, they are lobbying against the profession. In no uncertain terms, I decry the whole thing and I request my West Bengal friends that at least on this issue, there should not be division. This is such a horrible thing to come to our head that future generation of doctors will just abuse us, that we being leaders on sitting on the dais and off the dais and spending our time that this thing happened before our eyes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Chu.
I am Dr. Subedar, National.
I just want one second. I want our discussions to come out with 3 decisions. The decision has been taken that we are opposing Clinical Establishment Act of West Bengal. So I need 3 decisions to focus your discussion into 3. 1, what should be the political line of action? Protest, rally, meeting member of parliament, writing, press conferences, that's 1. 2, licensing, continuing our efforts to meet the West Bengal Chief Minister, Health Minister, and others. And 3rd is legal. And if we are considering legal options, Jayakrishnan said High Court, we can also move to Supreme Court to give directions to High Court for a speedy, because Supreme Court will invariably direct it to High Court, and if they direct it to High Court, the matter may be decided in a limited period of time. So we have three things: legal points for constitutional challenge, apart from what Dr. Jayakishan has said; political consensus, if we are opposing, what is our IMA way of protest; and third is continuing our efforts with the licensing. These three decisions we need to take it for the next whatever time we have. Yes.
Respected President, I am Dr. Subhadan, National Joint Secretary, Hospital Board of India. My opinion is that our main discussion in the CWC should be concentrated on the Clinical Establishment Act. Because that has come into effect in many states, and in the West Bengal unit state, in the state of West Bengal, you have a very draconian law which is unheard of in other states. So they have to rope in the interest of the West Bengal unit also into to draw the national line of maximum protest. And we have to utilize all the avenues, the judiciary, the executive, as well as the legislature.
That we have decided. All three will be done. That's just how is to be done.
So we will initially arrange a nationwide protest day. We will observe one nationwide protest day. That is the first thing.
So one of the proposals has come is Black CEAWB Day, Clinical Establishment, West Bengal Clinical Establishment Act, Black Day, where All India, it will be an All India event. The action committee chaired by Dr. Ashokan can come forward with the details and the day, and we can organize a nationwide protest. The modalities will be discussed. Thank you very much.
And with that, we can
give your suggestions to the action committee chairman. Yes. On principle, there will be a Black Day observed regarding West Bengal Clinical Establishment Act.
Mr. President, sir, and honorable members of this august house, I fully agree, and the whole house agrees to it, that we must strongly condemn the Clinical Establishment Act of West Bengal. That mere condemnation will not serve the purpose.
Give your suggestion.
I am for legal remedies.
Legal remedy.
I am pursue with legal remedy. Before legal remedy, we should go in for political lobbying also.
Yes.
That is my suggestion about the West Bengal Clinical Establishment Act. But the Central Act, as it is in its present form, is also draconian. Yes. And Bihar is one of the worst hit states for that. So I will request the Action Committee and our leadership to take up, to impress upon the government to make suitable amendments in the Clinical Establishment Act. For example, health being a state subject, the right of prescribing minimum standard should be entrusted with the respective state council and not with the central body. That is my submission, sir. Thank you. I have brought some suggestions, sir. I will like to submit it to our Action Committee Chairman. Thank you.
Sir, I am Dr. Tangamuthu, Legal Chairman of Tamil Nadu, sir. This case regarding arrest of dark-heads, 2005 itself, Laghoti has passed and he has given a rules and regulation before arresting the dark-heads. That is not followed in this rules and regulation of West Bengal. So we can file a contempt of the court against the West Bengal government in Supreme Court, sir.
Yes. Thank you. Anything else you want to suggest? Any specific thing you want us to do apart from that? Supreme Court. So in the Supreme Court, so one of the things is that Supreme Court is closing after 15 days. Let's explore what can be done. So Dr. Ashokan, for the legal provisions of this act, Dr. Marthanda Pillai and Dr. Jayakishan will help you out. For the legal part of it, so when I am saying is, people are listening, you can also take a note of that. And for the protest part of it, Dr. Vinay Agarwal will assist Dr. Ashokan to plan about the protest part of it at a national level along with Dr. Jayakumar.
I want to participate in our protest West Bengal.
And Dr. Ajay Kumar. Now I need two names for political licensing in West Bengal. If somebody who is, because when the state, the West Bengal is not cooperating, then we need two people from West Bengal to license on behalf of headquarters, to keep licensing for local health minister, CM and other people. Anybody who wants to volunteer? Alex, you want to volunteer? Anybody? Ajay Kumar. So Dr. Ajay Kumar then will be taken out of that protest. Dr. Ajay Kumar is our licensing. Licensing means political licensing. Lobbying, not licensing. Lobbying with the. So kindly, when the discussion is over, kindly give your plan of action. All three of you are requested to give your plan of action for discussion and to be adopted by Dr. Ashokan. Please.
Myself is Dr. Yoganand Reddy, past president of IMA Karnataka State Branch, presently chairman legal cell Karnataka State Branch. So we have a slightly different situation in Karnataka. We have our Karnataka Private Medical Establishment Act since 2007, amended in 2010. Even that time, we had a significant representation from IMA before drafting the bill. After that, we have a Legal Establishment Act in Karnataka which mainly deals with establishment and very few points related to professional ethics and equity were touched upon in the Legal Establishment Act. At this juncture, what we want to make it very clear that Karnataka Indian Medical Association was very proactive in suggesting amendments to the government. For the past 2 years, we were continuously asking government, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, to bring in amendments. Whenever the minister gave a statement to the public, we opposed it and we are asking for the amendments. In the process, what happened? Now the process for amendment is on and government cannot exclude any member or president or even the MC chairman from their decision making body. Now we have six doctors, one from President IMA, one chairman of Karnataka Medical Council, and two active doctors from IMA itself, and a doctor who is totally not related to IMA. So in the team, over the past 5 meetings for amendments, we were 6 doctors in the team. And situation was such that whenever the minister or the bureaucracy started suggesting about the encroachment to the profession ethics, etiquette, chairman CMC used to object. What is my role? What is my role then? Similarly, when the organization which was against the doctor was used to talk so many things, we raised a voice and we submitted 18-page detailed amendments, whatever we need, and government cannot escape the discussion. Tomorrow again there is a meeting, we are going there, and things which will be included are to the tune of IMA itself.
That's a very good suggestion.
That means we need to have a proactive system instead of a jerky reaction. Whatever you are thinking all these things, please, I just want to suggest the National IMA to have a legal tracking system which can track every cabinet decisions, every decisions on the floor of the assembly, and before that only we can suggest. And government cannot escape, cannot call us, we cannot be.
That's a very good suggestion. All the state branch presidents and executives, whosoever is present here, are requested to send their success stories, what they have been able to achieve as a modification in the Legal Establishment Act to the headquarters at the earliest, so that they can be circulated to other states and success stories can be fought legally also. Thank you.
I'm Dr. Raja, past State Secretary, Tamil Nadu, and the National Board Secretary. It is indeed a very good thing. The most burning issue of West Bengal Legal Establishment Act is being discussed in the heart of the Kolkata city itself, because we have the appropriate forum for that. I really congratulate and appreciate this, that we are discussing most important issue in the heartland of West Bengal. Number one. Number two, for any state or office bearers, they should have been sensitized or they should have understood the problem of the bill and would have taken a proactive step. After all, the prevention is better than cure. the West Bengal friends, I don't know why they miserably failed in this aspect. If they could have sensed this, they could have avoided such a draconian bill, and they should have done that. Now we are chasing the aftermath. No doubt we should fight the political and protest and the legal aspects. There is no doubt about all these aspects. But they should have prevented the bill before tabling. They should have discussed. They miserably failed in that aspect. Another thing, in Tamil Nadu, what we have done in the past 2 years, we had several meetings with the government of Tamil Nadu, Health Secretary and the Minister, and we made our own Clinical Establishment Act more doctor-friendly. And the important aspect of our association to safeguard the interest of the profession for ourselves and also for the future generations.
So, Raja has very clearly said, because the bill was not tabled, that point should be emphasized a lot, because the bill was not put into public domain. So any bill which was not put into a public domain, that point needs to be considered legally also. Thank you. And now, Ravi, I want, one of the points, Ravi is again our co-chairman of the legal committee and is the president of IMA Tamil Nadu. And my basic will be that I need, apart from what you speak, by next tomorrow, if you can forward me whichever acts government is trying to pass on the judicial powers to administrators. Like he said CEA, he said PCPNDT. So if we can actually come out with a white paper that government is doing two things: A, criminalization of medical practice, and B, they are trying to give judicial powers to administrators. That will help us in making a campaign.
Yeah, I'll do it, sir. So one or two points which I like to add as a counter when you go to the court is it's totally discrepancy. See, when you say when you violate the major deficiencies, they are putting a penalty of 10 lakhs in the clause. At the same time, death maximum penalty is maximum compensation is 10 lakhs. Totally discrepancy.
No. Again.
Say it again.
When there is a violation of the deficiencies, when hospitals don't follow the West Bengal Clinical Establishment Act, they are charged penalty of 10 lakhs. At the same time, the commission which is going to look into the compensation that has to be paid by the West Bengal Clinical Establishment Act, they said at least 10 lakhs for death. Violation, death. Two different modality, compensation is almost 10 lakhs. If the patient had gone to the consumer court, they may get more. This is something against the public which the West Bengal Clinical Establishment have acted. So this will be one of the uses where when you present it to the court, which will be useful for us to squash it. Another thing is, only when a case goes to the court, it has a right to go to the public. When it is in the Clinical Establishment Act or in the commission, the next clause which says is, the name, place of residence, offence and penalty will be published in newspapers at the guilty party's own expense or published in the same other matter. Confidentiality. MCA's confidentiality is crossed or violated by the Clinical Establishment Act. When you are trying to expose a doctor to the public, at the same time you got to say who is the patient who is involved, the whole incident. So two things, violation, discrepancies are there. I don't think doing a political lobby or all these things is going to have a much matter in the West Bengal Clinical Establishment Act. We know the individuals, we know the people at the head of the affairs. Had it been in our own state, it would have been different. Right from 2010 to 2017, the draft bill is still with the health secretary, and they do conduct meeting twice or thrice a year, and still it has not gone to the assembly to be passed. That's the way IMA Tamil Nadu has been powerful, trying to restrain it, trying to impose whatever we want into the bill. That's our success story, which I think will happen in the course of another 6 months. I think it is only legal system that can help us, and it is already too late for us to act. It's almost 1.5 months, and still we are still not gone to the court. I think we have to take it right away to the court and fight it at the court. Thank you, sir.
So the opinion of the House is that what Dr. Jayakrishan has said, what Yogi has said is that if any of the local branch of West Bengal is going into the court, they should make IMA also a party, and we will support that particular branch.
Sir, very correct. If you go for legal option in West Bengal, there must be some stakeholders from West Bengal. Otherwise, central IMA, I don't think any.
No, it has to go through the local branch of IMA.
Local branch or even individually.
Yes.
Even individual.
Individually said.
There are so many individual branch. So that is the point for legal. But there is not much options from legal side. There should be, we have planned a national march, a national rally at Delhi. That should be very important. That should be. All over country should participate in that rally, and lobbying definitely works. Lobbying definitely works there.
Do you have any, Dr. Chokam, do you have any date?
Monsoon session that we decided last time.
Twice or once? During the monsoon session of the parliament. Okay. During the monsoon session of the parliament,
Sir,
the Black Day will be observed.
Sir, one more thing. One more thing.
No. I'm talking about Black Day.
Sir, one more thing. We are fighting for CEA 2010. Now, the More Draconian Act has come. Sir, why don't IMA, nationally or even at a state level, draft a Clinical Establishment Act and submit it to the government, discuss it to the government. Government wants an act and we also are not against it. But we should submit our overall comprehensive act centrally, and in the central act, if the states follow it, there should be a provision that the states will have right to decide about the requirements, standards, etc. So that the states can change their own, change the act according to their own condition. The second thing is that we are fighting at CEA, Inter-Ministerial Committee report, we are not satisfied with that. So we are not at all satisfied. So we are the most sufferer. We want that whenever you go to discuss about it to the central government, a few member or one member from Bihar who have studied it well, who are fighting in the court also, we have done rallies also, we should be represented in that committee where you talk with the central government.
Thank you. There are two very important issues. Everyone is saying that we should come out with a central act, a central guideline for the Clinical Establishment Act. In fact, I sent a request after Action Committee meeting some 2 weeks ago, requesting each and every state to send their model Clinical Establishment Act, which they have formulated and submitted it to the government. So that is still to be received by us at the headquarters. Because once we get all the suggestions from all the states, wherever they have given a suggestion, then we can take inputs from all those bills and can come out with the central act. So my request to all of you who are present here, please make sure that their amendments, their suggestions, whatever they have given in a Clinical Establishment Act, please send it to the headquarters. As the Karnataka was talking about, they have given 18 suggestions, so I request Karnataka as well to send their suggestion immediately, so that we can incorporate each and everything and finalize a central Clinical Establishment Act suggestion for the center. So my request is to please act at the earliest.
Mr. President, sir, I have jumped the queue and taken the permission of Sanjay to say a few things and very important issues. We are talking about the present, we should talk about the future of what is happening. The state of West Bengal has been a very peculiar state. And I am deliberately standing in between Sanjay Banerjee and Shantanu Singh. Earlier when I was sitting on your chair, I was facing all the difficulties. Same people used to come to me, sir, ये क्या हो रहा है? इस CPM वाला इधर कर दिया, उधर कर दिया, ये कर दिया. And these people were on the treasury bench and saying, नहीं हम तो करें. Now the situation has changed. Now they are doing it and they are agreeing. I don't understand. Indian Medical Association is the association of all the practitioners of modern medicine in this country. Why should we? I mean, in Bihar also, we have got individual political affiliations. Somebody is in some party, somebody is in some party, or other states also. But when it comes to the interest of the medical profession, we go on the street all together. We do not see our political affiliations, that this party is there in power, so I am affiliated and I am doing it. Those people who are in power today, they should remember their yesterday. And those who are out of power today, they should also remember their yesterday and try to mend their ways. That is one thing I am telling. And personally, Shantanu has been looking after us very well. Since last night, all sumptuous lunch, good dance, good drink. Today also everything very well. Personally, we all like him. I know he has got political compulsions. That's why he cannot come out from within what he thinks, no matter how honestly he tries to say. We are not going to put him on lie detector test. But we understand his political compulsions. Sir, I feel, in spite of whatever hospitality we had, I have a suggestion for future. Because this state has been peculiar. In Medical Council of India, we also face the problems. The state councils are autonomous bodies. When there is any disciplinary action taken against a doctor in the Medical Council of India and we communicate to the state of West Bengal, they say we are not going to follow. Now look at this, the way we are trying to discipline our own doctors and then in an autocratic way they will say we don't follow. We will not accept it. We can't do much about it. Fine, Medical Council of India Act has to be changed for that. But we in Indian Medical Association have to have, because we find this, these states are coming out in an autocratic manner here and there. Can we not have a regulation with a legal sort of assistance? Can we not make a regulation that the state which is behaving in an autocratic way against the spirit of the medical profession, against the spirit of the Indian Medical Association, we can either suspend them for a period, we can reprimand them for a period, we can say that none of the central, these projects which we run will not go to that particular state. And there are a lot of other things we can do to sort of punish that state. And I strongly feel today, and I am sure sitting in the audience, people will feel that such type of regulation should come in Indian Medical Association to bring discipline in our association. Thank you very much, Mr.
Past President, we already have passed a resolution that matters of national importance to be decided by the working committee shall only be taken by the headquarters, and headquarters decision shall be binding to the state and the local branches and its members. That resolution was passed and it has also been cleared by the CWC, and we agree with Dr. Ajay Kumar's suggestion to add into that including projects of national importance, apart from subjects of national importance, all projects of national importance shall be taken up through, even if a state is doing, through the national IMA. So the national IMA is in picture. I totally agree with Dr. Ajay Kumar on this respect. And whatever the Central Working Committee decisions today will be taken today. Central Working Committee is above the headquarters. It is above the President of National President. So all the decisions taken by Working Committee today, whatever, shall be binding on IMA West Bengal State Branch. When I say shall be, I mean shall be. I agree that some of us may have our political compulsions, But when it comes to IMA working committee, we are beyond politics. No politics can take place when it comes to IMA. We have never allowed politics. We have always been that anybody of IMA member who is fighting an election, we will support him irrespective of the party. Another thing is IMA has, Dr. Desai yesterday said, introspect, introspect, introspect. We are very clear, being an IMA, like member of IMA, from a distance, you have to respect the pin of IMA. If you are wearing a pin of IMA, we have to be ethical. We have to follow that IMA person is always ethical. That feeling has to come to the community. He is a IMA member, he cannot cheat. Unethical practices should be condemned, should be disclosed, should be condemned, should be disclosed, and should be exposed by the medical professionals, our fellow IMA persons. IMA will start at a national level a campaign against unethical practices, cuts, commissions. West Bengal has declared, Andhra has declared, Telangana has declared, Uttaranchal has declared. So similar resolutions we want at an international level, that IMA is community friendly with that. And to make it sure again, because media has started writing that headquarters belongs to BJP. I don't know which BJP we are talking about, because KT Agarwal, at least KT Agarwal is not from any party. And people have started talking about that the BJP is trying to influence Central Working Committee decisions. No, it cannot be. Central Working Committee is the collective consciousness of all the leaders of IMA sitting here. And whatever they decide, I will have to follow. Whether or not I like it or not with that. And then is 27th April. 27th April will be the date which we have just announced about a nationwide awareness and protest against the unconstitutional portions of Medical Establishment Act all over the country, including West Bengal. Next. Dr. Sanjay Banerjee is not a member of CWC. He has requested, being a past member of, being a past important senior office bearer and also a part of our finance building committee, I request him to give his suggestions. And then we will, based on that, we will allow the discussion on that. Sanjay.
So in other words, Mr. President, he is the invited member of
Yes, I know.
CWC by you.
Yes. No, but even then, yesterday we have declared that invited members can give their opinions. We have given that resolution, so we are inviting his suggestions as an invited member. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, National President. I'm here, I'm telling whatever is from my heart as the past State Secretary and the past National Joint Secretary. Although I am not a member of CWC and he has allowed me to speak, I will give 2-3 my important points. I don't want to discuss all the decisions that has been said by the honorable members of the CWC regarding the Act, because you have read the Act and you are confident after the 2 days deliberation that what are the provisions that's against the doctors. Sir, I have been listening from yesterday that West Bengal State Branch has not come against the bill, but I will say that on this aspect, there was no working committee or State Council meeting held, where members can say, a meeting was held definitely, and the resolutions that was taken has been sent to you. But there are many branches in West Bengal. I assure you today, standing on this, if IMA headquarters says they are ready with IMA headquarters to go to court.
Okay.
So I will assure you, the Central Working Committee in Kolkata, 30 branches, their president or the secretary will sign the petition if only IMA headquarters wants. That's the point I am stressing. If IMA headquarters gives the permission, then only we will give.
Dr. Banerjee, let me, number one, how many branches are there in West Bengal?
177. He will be the right person to say.
177. 171. So 171 branches of West Bengal are there. The legal morning, our legal team headed by Dr. J. Kishan and Dr. Ravi Shankar has already said that on this issue, because the working committee decision is that the West Bengal Legal Establishment Act in its form should be challenged. That's the decision. Challenge cannot be done. Challenge has to be done only by 3 people, either the local body or a single or a joint branches together, local branches, or by the IMA state. There is a dispute between the IMA state and the local branches. Okay. In this particular issue, the local branches are free to go to the court, file a case on merit, and you can make both the state and the IMA headquarters as a party. Okay? IMA stand is very clear that all unconstitutional provisions needs to be challenged. Decriminalization of practice needs to be challenged. Differentiation between private and government sector needs to be challenged. Consumer Protection Act laws needs to be challenged. Clinical establishment needs to be challenged, and few more. So IMA is very clear. If West Bengal branches wants to go to the Supreme Court, to the High Court, they are free to go. We allow them to go, and they should make both us and the state branch as a party. And there, the state and IMA central will have to have the same. You cannot have state opposing it and central supporting it. That's a CWC decision. In the CWC decision, every decision of CEA which is unconstitutional, which we can justify on non-political grounds, we will support any such legal action. Similarly, protest, yes, we want amendment. Either we say, I don't think so we are calling about scrapping the CEA West Bengal or amend CEA. What is our approach? Can I take the consensus?
Amend CEA.
Amend. So amend West Bengal CEA should be our slogan. Suitable amendments in West Bengal CEA. Okay? So that we can sit on the floor legally, politically, or by lobbying. Am I clear? Amend.
We are not against the we are not against the bill or the act. We are against some provisions of the act.
I said the decision is let the legal committee decide what amendments they want. As of today, amend West Bengal CEA will be our slogan for 27th April Black Day. The slogan will be amend West Bengal Clinical Establishment Act.
The second point is, sir, that there has been a discussion for filing the case in the High Court of Kolkata. So why not, sir, we go to directly to the Supreme Court? That's a decision that has to be taken by the Action Committee of IMA along with the IMA office, headquarter office bearers.
When we file a case?
Because if you file a case in the Supreme Court, if the Supreme Court decides that this should be sent to the High Court, they will send it to the High Court of Calcutta with a tag that this case should be decided within a month or 2 months or 3 months, and they will again revert back to the Supreme Court. So it's better to file a case in the Supreme Court and come to the High Court.
If any local branch is contemplating filing a case, they should file in both the Supreme Court as well as High Court. Okay, first in the Supreme Court, and be ready with the High Court thing. In Supreme Court, it may get dismissed. Okay, they will say go back to the Calcutta High Court.
Right.
And if they say immediately file the same day, or Supreme Court may say we are referring this case to High Court for an early disposal.
So that's also a decision that
absolutely. If IMA headquarters is supporting any legal action, it has to be both. To start with Supreme Court, depending upon Supreme Court's reactions, be ready with the High Court for that.
Third point. Tomorrow 4 o'clock is the last time for filing
in Supreme
No,
Court.
that's not correct. That's not correct.
Right.
The reason being, Supreme Court normally takes 15 days to place to admit. Suppose a case is admitted today, it will be posted after 15 days.
Right.
From that point of view, yes. But when you want to mention, as yesterday I allowed the first 5 minutes to mention urgent cases.
Right.
If you mention urgent cases, then there is no time bar.
Thank you very much. That should be also one of the agenda if you can help me with that.
IMA headquarters cannot take decision in next 24 hours.
Right.
Legally vetted it, everything to file it tomorrow.
Right.
Filing has to be done by the local. IMA cannot file. IMA cannot file any case. If the case has to be filed, it has to be filed by the local branch or individual member of IMA.
Right.
Let them prepare it. Let them send a copy to the IMA state as well as to the headquarters. Let IMA state branch also give their inputs.
Thank you very much. The last thing I will say is that whatever may be, that IMA headquarter is not becoming a direct person who is filing the case, and the local branches are filing the cases with IMA headquarter and the state branch as a party. That's the decision I think that you are.
I said if any local branch is filing a case, okay, then they should make both the state and the center as a party. Our stand is amend IMA West Bengal CEA Act. What amendment we have decided. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, before I allow anybody else, I will allow Dr. Shantanu to out of turn because Shantanu, our state secretary of the West Bengal, and with a request that Ajay has said there may be some political compulsions of anybody of us, but when it comes to Central Working Committee decisions, it should be followed in its letter respect.
I will end one thing, sir. We don't have any political barrier between myself, what Dr. Ajay said. On the floor of the CWC, Dr. Sanjay Mahesh and Dr. Shantanu Sen doesn't have any political barrier.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My respected President, Secretary, President-elect, Past Presidents, and all of you. Firstly, as because I am not only the State Secretary, but here I have been given the responsibility to host this program. So all of you are my guests, and I am your host. So first of all, I do apologize for any unintentional fault if it was there in last 2 days, and if we were able to give minimum possible hospitality, credit goes to you. If there is any unintentional loopholes, I take all the responsibilities on my shoulder, and I do apologize. Please excuse me. Sir, it really gives me pleasure in finding that under the leadership of Dr. K.K. Agarwal and Dr. R.N. Tindon, real democracy has been established in IMA. What I am telling this, sir, quoting Dr. Ajay Kumar, he was telling now Shantanu is on the treasury side, Sanjay is on the other side. If it is so, then I must give you a very humble remembrance. Being on the opposition side, as because there is a fair democracy nowadays, the oppositions, though they are very negligible, they are getting the opportunity to have their deliberation on the floor. But during that 25 years, when we were in the opposition, we hardly got any scope to speak out, neither by state nor by headquarters. I am thankful to my national president for bringing this democracy when everyone is getting the right to speak out. I hardly remember there was any scope when my dear friend Sanjay was the state secretary. I hardly remember there was any scope for me to speak out on the floor of Central Working Committee. Thank you, sir, for bringing this democracy in IMA. Secondly, I just want to inform you, I know President has got the right to invite everybody or anybody, but unofficially, sir, personally, I also invited Sanjay long back. Sanjay, you must come to our CWC. Thirdly, my humble submission, sir, please do not stamp IMA headquarters as BJP and at the same time IMA state as Trinamool. There is no place of politics in IMA. Being a political person, that might be my personal affiliation, that might be my personal agenda. So far we are on the floor of IMA. Please do not stamp IMA headquarters as BJP and at the same time IMA Bengal as TMC. This is my humble request.
I just want to add,
Yes.
is that I just want to clarify also that both me and R. Tandon, we are not even primary member of any political party. Forget about our affiliations. So we are absolutely not even a primary member of any political party. So we are absolutely apolitical. People link me with my brother-in-law, Mukul Gautri. He is my brother-in-law. He is not me. So it's my family. Somebody may be a high leader in BJP. It does not mean I get linked to that. And I have suffered a lot because of that. For 8 years I suffered that people used to link me with BJP when I'm not even a primary member of BJP. Okay? And my all honor were given during Congress time. And that time also I was a absolutely apolitical person. Apart from being national president of IMA.
Similarly, sir, I might be close to Madam Mamta Banerjee, I might be a corporator, I might be an ex-candidate of assembly.
Dr. Santanu, I have to submit also. His family member is at least from related to BJP. My family is not related to BJP, and we have never worked for. Yes, my great grandfather was definitely, he was a hardcore Congress voter, so I have nothing to do with any party.
So we are not BJP, we are not TNC, we are IMA.
Yes.
We are IMA, sir. I am IMA as stated by our president. Who am I? I am IMA.
That's our political party.
And my last submission during the last president and secretary meet held at Delhi, our very respected leader, Dr. R.V. Ashokan, who is the chairman of Action Committee, he has given me a paper that was a charter of demand that was supposed to be placed before the government of West Bengal. This is my submission, sir. After coming back from Delhi, we had a discussion with the health department. Meanwhile, our chief ministers were out of station for 2 weeks consecutively. We had a detailed discussion. We have been ensured that some points will be included where the rules will be met. Some points will be included after a discussion with the law department. It is definitely under consideration of government of West Bengal, and I can ensure you, so far the interest of doctors are concerned, I will go by the side of the doctors always, not by the side of any party. This is my assurance. And once again, I do apologize for any unintentional fault in any party, if at all it was there. Please do apologize me. And if you could enjoy a little, the credit goes to all of you, sir. Thanks for coming to Kolkata. Thank you very much.
Respected President, in Haryana, a urban body department ministry has issued a notification regarding the nursing home in Haryana. And what the notification says is, number one, all the nursing homes, old or new, they will be regularized and you have to give regulation fees. And that amounts from 1,000 to 6,000 per jar, depending upon the municipal committee. And then there are a number of other conditions. The important one is the older nursing home, if they are in the city, they should be on a road more than 20 meters. Number two, they must be at least 3 kilometers from the city residential area. And then they should have a parking place of number one four-wheeler according to the one bed of the nursing home, plus 4 more four-wheelers, and then other conditions like this. And they are levying retrospectively. We, IMA Haryana State Branch, we are trying to prepare a memorandum and present to the urban body ministers in this week. But I think this again is part of the Clinical Establishment Act, and now the government may do. They may divide it into the parts. One notification issued by the urban body, other from the health department, other from this. We should look into it, and I think the agitation or other the case we were filing, you should take into account
the problem of all the states, not on the, only on the Munnar. Thank you very much.
Immediately send us that circular and whatever thing has come. I think that let it be protested at the national level. Give me the details. Thank you.
Sir, I am Dr. Dinesh, Chairperson Maintenance National. Sir, our President, Kerala President Dr. Pradeep and Jason has already illustrated the things of what the
Voice is not, everybody's voice is not very put it down there. Yes. Hold it like this. No, touch it your chin. Here, touch your chin. No, with the mic. Take the mic, touch your chin and keep it there, now speak.
Sir, I present what is happened, you all know. What is happening in Bengal that who has passed. Once in the assembly, one rule has passed and it has become, an act has passed and it has become a rule. It is very difficult to recall it. I don't know what Sandhya has told now. We will meet the Chief Minister and we will make some amendments. No sir, that is technically that is not possible also.
Okay.
We can add some water to that rule only. So my humble suggestion to the President of IMA is, we have to first give preference for going for the legal action. That also in the Bengal High Court. Not to the Supreme Court, because going to Supreme Court and then coming back and again that would take time.
I said let the legal team decide whether to go to Supreme Court or High Court. The decision is that if somebody is going to court, we are supporting it, that's one. And we understand that rules cannot have anything which is not there in the Act. We understand that. So all those things which are there in the Act, the rules can be only in relation to that particular thing.
Yes.
That we understand.
So that's why I am telling sir, we have to, first of all the legal action starts from the course of action, where the course of action has taken. That is West Bengal.
I said that has been taken a decision that West Bengal local branch or IMA state branch, they are free to move the court, make us a party, and we will support it. We will support the draconian parts of that particular act.
Okay, sir. Another thing is, IMA Central is more powerful than all other states. And the rules and regulations of IMA Central is applicable to all the states. If somebody violates that rule, definitely we have to warn that state and we have to take clear-cut action against that also. That should not happen because...
You're talking about IMA.
IMA.
In IMA, it is very clear that whenever you make your state constitution, state bylaws and state rules, they cannot be violating any of the Central Act provisions and Central Rules provisions. That already exists.
No state should, IMA should not allow any states to act against the interest of the national decision.
That we already have passed. No state across the country can act against the headquarters on subjects of national interest.
So this is the question of surveil of all the doctors of India, not only
yes,
state.
It is done. It is already passed.
This is passed, you know.
It is passed.
Okay, sir. The other thing is this political lobbying and the other thing, this protest and all this. Definitely we should go hand in hand with our politics.
So for protest, give your advice to Dr. Vinay Agarwal. For political lobbying, give your advice to Dr. Ajay Kumar.
Because in this at this time, political lobbying was, I think, less important.
Doesn't matter. All three movements should go on.
Okay.
And we should also pursue your state health secretary, Dr. Shantanu Sen, to arrange a meeting with the West Bengal Chief Minister as early as possible.
Okay, sir.
Okay? On this is his political assignment.
Okay, sir.
With the same government. It is not an IMA assignment. We are requesting him as a political assignment. As an IMA assignment, he will not get a book because if he writes as a secretary IMA state, he may not get a date. Okay, but we are requesting him as an important member of MMC, as a political person also, to arrange an audience of IMA headquarters with Madam Mamata Banerjee. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Good morning to our... Excuse me, sir.
I'd just like to know that the decision which we have taken about the national protest, that is being planned on 27th of April. And the national protest day we have already observed a number of times. It's on a similar ground. We will be wearing black badges. Posters will be designed which should be displayed, and public should be informed against all the rules which are going to hurt them directly. Public should be informed, and the doctors are already well aware about the Clinical Establishment Act. The only thing is the effect of Clinical Establishment Act should be directly informed to the public through the poster. That is going to be very important. So on the 27th, everybody has to wear black badges, display posters, and organize some kind of a rally to inform the community, as well as present a memorandum to the concerned authority in your district or in your state accordingly. Thank you.
We will send you a content of the press release which can be released on that particular day, and all states should make sure that this becomes a success. Yes.
Sir, myself, Dr. D.P. Singh, I am a President Bihar. Good morning to my dynamic President of IMA and our intendant, sir.
On what? Same subject.
Honorable members of this CWC. I am a President of IMA of poor state. So in this in this Establishment Act, whatever the minimum standard has been laid on for the rich states, that is not convenient or not suitable for our states. So we have got the recommendation and suggestion that we have submitted to the Action Committee. So I suggest that one of the members from our Bihar should be there also in the Action Committee, so that our views are represented in that.
Dr. Ashokan, he voluntarily, Dr. Ashokan.
And so Dr. Barma has already submitted that.
Be in touch with Dr. Ashokan.
Sir. Second is that you talk about the ethics. And we are very proud that you are taking actions daily, we are getting the mails. One is just very simple, that we doctors are taking care of all the people of India, and we are not taking care of ourselves. Should make it mandatory that there should be executive checkup of all members of IMA, yes, at least annually. Because if we are healthy, and we have seen that the 10 years less we are living than the general public, that is one of the report of the IMA. So why we are not taking care of ourselves? So why not IMA should take care of our members?
If you read the resolutions, we have passed 2 resolutions, charity begins at home.
Sir,
and second thing is, we are also talking it, an IMA member shall not charge consultation fee from a fellow IMA member, because the ICI Act says should. It doesn't talk about shall. So we shall not. And an IMA member, if you are owning anything, at the
but
most,
this crisis has not gone down to our members.
It passed yesterday.
Sir.
Suppose if I want to go for a test in a pathological lab, even if he doesn't want to make it free for me, he should charge me only cost of consumables.
We are making a campaign in Bihar that all the corporates, they are not obeying us. Corporates, we are going there.
We are not talking about corporates. At the moment, we are talking about fellow IMA members.
Yes, but they are run by our fellow IMA members. All corporate hospitals are run by our fellow members. They should also.
Dr. Ashokan, I am proposing a resolution, and I would like HBI to consider it and send it back to us after passing it, that all HBI member institutions are directed, I'm not talking about requested, are directed to not to charge profit from fellow IMA.
Yes,
that means if they want to charge for investigations, X-rays, they should drugs, they should charge it only as per actuals at the cost. Thank you. Pass.
Last, our president is so dynamic. I wish to always follow him, his stethoscope on the net in my state. And please give big round of applause to our dynamic president, sir.
No, that's not needed.
Please give a big round of applause. Whatever you're carrying on the IMA very nicely. And thank you. Congratulations, sir.
Good morning, sir. I am Dr. Mohanan from Kerala.
First of all, I congratulate for you to take the sharp decision to condemn the West Bengal Clinical Establishment Act and go legally, go by education. Wonderful. But now there is a confusion. The National Association is taking a decision and people are thinking that the State Association is in favor of it. So, and suppose we start an agitation or suppose we go for a legal cell and the government will argue that the West Bengal doctors are happy with it, then what is your problem? But we know that any doctor in West Bengal or anywhere else will be against this. But the
state branch of IMA Kolkata, West Bengal will not oppose the decision taken by the CWC.
No, it should not be like that. What I am saying is different. What I am saying is that maybe inadvertently, maybe unfortunately, somebody has made a wrong decision. And there is always time for introspection. So we ask for an emergency general body meeting of West Bengal. An emergency general body meeting of the West Bengal will say that these Dargonian provisions are wrong and the West Bengal branch will file a case.
Okay,
my humble request is that
I will go further. Dr. Vinay Agarwal is appointed as an observer.
Perfect, sir.
Dr. Vinay Agarwal, the past national president, is appointed as an observer to West Bengal State Branch on this particular issue to discuss, to go talk to the state, talk to the local branches, if necessary arrange a GBM, come out with a consensus, and his decisions shall be binding to everybody.
Perfect. So then another thing, definitely IMA is leading in IMA is fine, but get the help of other professional organizations like me. I am the National President-elect of Radiology Association. So I am offering 100% support for this agitation. And similarly, all other associations can also be
this 27th April, in 27th April, Dr. Ashokan kindly lead and invite all the FOMA organizations to join us. That will be a FOMA protest day, then only led by IMA FOMA protest day. Instead of IMA protest day, IMA FOMA protest day.
And one more point beside this, actually today early morning, we went all around Kolkata and we saw several playgrounds and hundreds of children are playing. And then suddenly I realized in many cities, playgrounds are not there. Playgrounds are not there. These playgrounds have become buildings. Now, and when we are thinking about the health of people, when we are thinking about the disease,
Dr. Mohan, give me a proposal at a national level. What should be the IMA's recommendation on that?
We can just make one declaration. Get back the playgrounds.
I said, I'm giving you the authority to draft a complete IMA stand on playgrounds, which we can circulate and which we can try to motivate. I'm giving you that responsibility.
Perfect, sir. Thank you.
I am also giving you one responsibility. Is there anybody who from pathology who is here, who is in the pathology FOMA? FOMA means their association. No. So I also have to request you with folded hands that when you take over, or even now as a president-elect, you have to help the medical fraternity. We shall not offer any cuts and commission to any doctors in the country. I know, but I want it to be a declaration of IMA, IRAI joint declaration that we, see, when we say to our members don't take cuts, okay, then I also have to come to don't give cuts.
Perfect, yeah.
See, most of us say we don't take, they come and give us, what do I do? So don't give has to be requested to IRA. All specialty organizations, we want to sign an MIU. You say we will not give, we say we will not take. Okay. We want to show that IMA and IRAI are on this particular aspects, no cuts, no commissions, no unethical practices. That has to be a joint declaration of today. With that. That's what I request you. Request the present president, who he came as a part of FOMA, and let's organize it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
But very important thing, in the FOMA meeting, this point was discussed and all the members present has agreed to offer this kind of assistance through their association. No cuts and no commission will be offered to anyone. But that's a thing.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. I'm Dr. Prabhat.
The privilege comes from the stage first.
Respected President, I want to raise only 2 points. One is the bill has passed by the Legislative Assembly and the governor has to give consent. Yes, given.
This is now an act.
Now it is all. Then the second point is that all the state branches and the local branches can write to the Chief Minister of West Bengal as a general draft by the IMA headquarters, and individuals also can write through email or letters.
Dr. Joseph is requested to take help from Dr. Ashokan to draft this letter by evening today, give it to us. Once it is vetted, we'll send it to everybody to send it to us here. Thank you.
The second point is that if it is not obtained by this, we can arrange a march to Kolkata. Anyway, the CWC members came here. I am sure that Dr. Asham is capable of doing
what
a march.
What Dr. Joseph has said is that what Ravi has been instructed to plan a torch function. And once we do this protest day on 27th of April, then we will define one more day, then we say Chalo Kolkata.
I think
every state will, with the torch, will move towards Calcutta and meet here. Yes.
I think Dr. Sandhanu is not here. He will not allow us to come again to Calcutta. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. I'm Dr. Prabhat, past president of IMA Karnataka. Actually, the state, West Bengal state should fight initially. Then, as I said, we can all will come and march here. When the state government itself, state IMA itself is not fighting, then there is no point in other state people come and fight here. The state, West Bengal should fight for this. They have to fight. It is not will, they should fight. And regarding the act also, I think we have to focus on the act. We have to abolish totally the act rather than the clause or the rules. So that is my opinion.
There is another request to all the members, all the leaders, they should respect the message that there should be a signature campaign should be started against the Technical Establishment Act of West Bengal. And each and every member should be asked to sign that petition. And our aim should be that by 27th of April, this signing petition should peak and we should have maximum number of petitions signed against West Bengal Technical Establishment Act. So all of you are requested to spread this message that each and every member should sign this petition. We'll be sending the link and we'll send you each and every information.
Respected Chair, I have a clear opinion. The problem of West Bengal is not the problem of West Bengal alone, it is my problem also. Secondly, if state branch of West Bengal is not in a position to fight legally against their own Legal Establishment Act, none of our voices will be heard at the level Chief Minister or the government. If state branch of West Bengal is not in a position to take any decision, I request all the 171 branches or 177 branches of IMA of West Bengal to thrust upon the state branch to make a wise decision to fight against this draconian law. Here we are not against any government which has made a rule. We are against a rule which is against the doctors. Our political affiliations, whatever it is, let us utilize those political affiliations for the betterment of members of IMA. I request the headquarters to make a decision today that state branch of West Bengal alone should fight a legal cause. If it is not able to make it because of some political affiliations which are now being floated across, let 177 branches enforce the state branch to make a decision and fight against the draconian law. And headquarters should join and branches should join. It is not any branch and state branch being silent. No. State bank has to be proactive in opposing this law. If you don't oppose from the state, I think these things will be carried on to Karnataka, carried on to Andhra Pradesh, going on to Jharkhand, everywhere. That's my opinion, sir.
Thank you. I agree with that.
Thank you, sir.
Just now the decision was taken that the West Bengal will have a meeting of general members at the State Council or EGP under the observership of Dr. Vinay Agarwal. So the statement we have made about that the state local branches should have. So every member of West Bengal is being requested for that, and Dr. Vinay Agarwal will look after that meeting.
And Dr. Vinay, get assistance from the Vice President who has to be allocation.
Sir, just 2 points. One, actually I am also a student of law. So let me clarify. Yeah, I am in my 5th semester in 6th semester course. So the thing is that Article 32, which is in the Part 3 of the Constitution, allows us to approach the Supreme Court only when one of the fundamental rights is violated. Article 226 has a wider scope. It allows you to approach a high court not only when a fundamental right is violated, but when any of the legal rights is violated. So Article 226 approaching a high court is much wider, easier, and then in appeal you can go to the Supreme Court. That's one.
I totally agree with you. So therefore, our legal team is contemplating both the sections, whether to go to Supreme Court or to High Court. But again, I still have to get the list of the people who are from IMA West Bengal, which are the branches who are ready to go. If branches wants to go, they can take legal opinion of our legal team, and you also can offer your services to our legal team. Be a part of that.
Sure. And the second suggestion about the protest, what we have to launch, sir, I request to take a leaf out of the freedom struggle of Mahatma Gandhi and launch a civil disobedience movement against Clinical Establishment Act under the leadership of National Headquarters.
See, when it comes to National Disobedience Day, I personally, my view is always that on that day, we should all get up and see patients on the road.
Exactly.
You are seeing patients, but you are protesting to the public, and then say all our organized camps all over, and we say that we are seeing patients on the roads. Something like this can be looked into.
We can continue seeing patients in our clinics also.
No, outside the clinic, on the road, so that there is a protest.
Outside the road, we can go only on 1 or 2 days.
No, only we say 1 day even.
1 day, no? But civil disobedience will be a continued.
But then you put your suggestion, what can be included in disobedience?
Yes. What I am suggesting is that let it be declared by the national headquarters that we are launching a civil disobedience movement.
For that, give me your suggestion.
Yes, that is one. That we will not get ourselves registered under the Clinical Establishment Act. We will continue working as we are working, and if you close down our institution, then all the institutions will be closed down who are working like that.
I understand. Yeah, I understand.
So that way, in my opinion, the government think twice before they
it's a very good suggestion that none of us will apply for registration. None of us will apply for registration pan India, and if one clinic is closed, we close every clinic in the city. Will you continue?
Sir, Mr. President, sir, President-elect, sir, and Secretary, sir. Only one suggestion, sir, President, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Already the West Bengal Clinical Establishment established and Act is passed. Now is on. So all other states is watching. It is high time the state body of the association to include in the committee. In Tamil Nadu, we are successful for 10 years because IMA President Secretaries are 1 or 2 members and Tamil Nadu Medical Council 3 members. So totally 3 members without calling us, they cannot decide. So turn down another final decision on 21st they call, they are going to do. So I request the Central Committee to inform all the state to vigilant on that and put it in the committee. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
you have passed a resolution that IMA is for amendment of the law and not to totally abolish of the law.
So we cannot do that because we have agreed in the Central Interministerial Committee that we want amendments. So we can't have two versions of abolishing it.
No sir, but when you are going to court, you cannot do the amendment. You cannot go for the amendment. You have to go for the abolition of the law. Yeah. So
in the court we are going to move it that this law is ultra bad.
Yes, sir. That's what I suggest. Okay.
Mr. President, sir.
Yes, sir.
I think we had enough discussion on this issue. And one thing, what I feel, if I can feel the pulse of the audience, we are unanimous in our feeling that this Clinical Establishment Act passed by the West Bengal government is against the spirit of IMA. I feel that this CWC meeting should be dedicated only to this issue and we should not discuss anything further on this issue. And if the House agrees, we direct the House directs the chair that you may make this whole CWC meeting dedicated to the opposition of the CEA of West Bengal, and from now on, we act according to whatever we decide. And we request you now to close this session, signed by sir, let us go and enjoy ourselves. And those who are at the helm of the affairs in this one, like Dr. Vinay Agrawal is really itching to start working. The chair should direct him to start the work now. Just now, sit down with the leaders of the West Bengal and chalk out a sudden strategy to work on that one. Ashokan is there, everybody else. That is my suggestion, sir. It is for the House to accept or reject. Do you want to continue or do you want to let these people come out with certain strategies and then we meet again?
Yes, sure. They should come
So with the interest of the IMA, certain decisions are taken. Let me enumerate those decisions that the Central Working Committee, can I have 2 minutes silence? Just 2 minutes silence. The Central Working Committee of Indian Medical Association, the largest medical NGO of the country and the world, resolves to oppose West Bengal Clinical Establishment Act, to fight it legally through the state or the local branches or the individual members, to fight it on the streets, on the roads through various types of protests, which will be decided by the action committee from time to time, to continue political lobbying for them to talk to us, appointed by the headquarters. Now onwards, we will be appointing an observer, a past president as an observer to any such thing which is happening in the state. Similarly, if you find any other state something is happening, we will appoint an observer from a national past president who will be working closely with that particular association. At this moment, yesterday we adjourned the meeting in a protest. We are adjourning Central Working Committee Sendai as a mark of protest, and we will re-meet in September. All your decisions, all your pending things have already been passed. So I declare the meeting closed. Sendai in protest against the draconian West Bengal Clinical Establishment Act.
As the meeting has been closed, but we have a responsibility to thank over the West Bengal State Unit and the President of West Bengal and the Secretary of West Bengal for hosting wonderful CWC meeting, and they have given all sorts of comfort to all the Central Working Committee members. I'm really grateful to the state branch of West Bengal for doing a wonderful job for all of you. Now, thank you everybody for joining the CWC, and the decisions which have been taken are to be followed by each and everyone, and that I respect. Sir.